I hope you're all doing so well. Let me know where you are tuning in from. Let me know if you feel called to share your experience with hormones, your experience with hormone concerns. Feel free to share, maybe it's you or a friend you know. So today being the last day of March, being the last day of Endometriosis Awareness Month. Yes, better late than never. Been meaning to get onto this topic all month. And so now is finally the time to share with you. So this is a huge, big shout out to particularly any women and families, men, children of women who are dealing with endometriosis specifically, but also any other forms of hormone issues, reproductive issues. So this is something that impacts like over 830,000 women in Australia. It's huge. So over 11% of our population specifically are dealing with endometriosis. The issues around hormone health in general affect huge portion of the population. And yes, it's not just women. However, the work that I do focuses around women, and that's going to be the topic of tonight, particularly around endometriosis. So if you go to the link tree, if you're on in the hub, you guys will be able to have access to sign up for my free ebooks, which will opt you into my newsletter, and you'll get the blog sent out every week with more information on the Wellness Wednesday topic. So I'm going to get into it now. This is going to be a video that is for people who are looking for more education around endometriosis. Maybe there's people around you that have it. Maybe you're looking into a diagnosis around endometriosis, or maybe you have endometriosis and it's something you've been dealing with for a while. I want to do this. It's going to be quite a generic presentation, but I trust that it'll either be validation or you'll get something new out of this. You'll learn something. So basically, and you guys will see more of the nerd side of me come out as I'm getting through my naturopathic studies. I'm like head down into the journal articles, just researching as much as I can about the topics that are close to me. So I've done my research on this one. Obviously, I've got my hormone training with my health coaching, but I've really gone in and done a lot more research to bring you evidence-based information, because there is such a plethora of information out there that it can get overwhelming, and sometimes a lot of the time we can get incorrect information. However, disclaimer on that, when it comes to hormone health, it is absolutely manageable and with some conditions treatable with lifestyle, stress being the number one impact. And that said, though, I'm not downplaying or belittling endometriosis, because it actually is dependent on our hormone estrogen, and it's around pelvic inflammation, and it's where the implantation and the growth of our endometrial tissue is actually growing outside of our uterus where it's meant to be. So it's not nice at all, and it can impact on other organs, into all up in there. So it can impact so much on a woman's life, and pelvic pain, and in some cases infertility can be created from it. There's still, the jury is still out with the causes around it. It can be quite hazy. You know, there's maybe saying some link to genetics as well as mental, emotional stress, and also too many free radicals compared to our antioxidant intake. So there's inflammation that comes as a result of that. So this can all play a part, basically inflammation. Now, free radicals occur, really fancy term, but basically how we get more free radicals in our body is mainly from toxins, alcohol, smoking, but stress is a huge one as well. Stress, like I cannot harp on that enough. Like not everybody smokes and drinks, but everybody is exposed to some form of stress. Now, not just talking about a huge big life change like moving house, moving jobs, death, stress. I'm also talking about the everyday stress of like the never-ending to-do list that runs through your head, the getting kids from here, there, and everywhere, the looking after yourself, as well as working, as well as, all of the things that run through our head, as well as the physical rushing women syndrome. So it's rushing in the mind, rushing in the body. So it impacts so much on a woman's life. It is, it can impact on our lifestyle, and it is often linked to our modern day lifestyle. So you look at how that rushing women syndrome, it's also linked to pollution, as I said, those chemicals, our food intake, compromising that, so often not enough nutrients, um, chemical endocrine disruptors. So what are we putting on our skin when it comes to makeup, skincare, hair products, bath and body products? What are we, what foods are we eating? Are they, drenched in chemicals? What are we cleaning our house with? Because we can be doing all these wonderful things around managing stress and food, but if we're using all these chemicals, like, we think I need to use these products to get my house clean, to be healthy, it's actually shooting ourselves in the foot. And also, there's a huge link with having children later, so later childbirth years, but stress is a big one. And there are actually studies done that say that it's actually a career woman's disease because of all of the different things that women are trying to juggle as most likely career and family women, because the roles have changed significantly over the decades. Women aren't just staying at home being the homemakers, they're also out earning an income. So a lot of the research you might find might be quite disempowering, saying, well, there's no actual treatment for it. The surgical or medical treatment is more about relieving of symptoms or removing the lesions to prevent the complications from their growth. So it's kind of, I don't know, like I feel that a lot of the information out there can be quite disempowering around this. And this was one of my goals for this talk, is to empower anyone that may be dealing with this, potentially dealing with this, know someone who's dealing with this, to really empower you to say that there are definitely ways to manage this and to absolutely improve your symptoms in a really natural way. So it's kind of like the chicken or the egg, which came first? So they say that it's a result of a stress disorder, but also the result of chronic stress, because I can only imagine going in for surgery every so often to remove these lesions would be very stressful. So it kind of is like that chicken and the egg, like it's, stress is impacting on this situation of endometriosis, but then the surgery is also causing this chronic stress because your body's going under a physical and emotional stress every time you're preparing for surgery. So sounds a bit doom and gloom today, doesn't it? But it's not. There are so many things that we can do, and there's so much empowerment around women's health, I feel, that is coming out, that is there. And so I want to share with you three focus points. And obviously this is all going to be individualized to what someone is going through, but it's around food, environment, and stress. And as I said, there's more information on my blog on this on my website. So with food, we want to focus on increasing antioxidants. How do we do that? Lots of color, fresh color, and also decreasing our inflammation. So things that are great for inflammation is steering away from those foods that create inflammation, like the dairy, the gluten, corn, soy, alcohol, coffee, refined sugar. Don't turn off your video just yet. But it's also about adding in the omega-3s. If you're eating fish, then great sources can come from fish. Make sure it's wild caught as best can, so it's sustainable, less mercury in the smaller fish. And if you're plant-based, looking at some plant-based marine algae omega-3s, they're really going to help. You can have them in tablets or whatever. Eat your fish, eat your sushi, like eating things like that to help to decrease that inflammation. The other way that we get inflammation in our body is from stress. So not just our food, but our stress. I'm talking about that last because I feel it's the most important. So environment, I already said this, like what are you cleaning your shower with? What are you spraying on your hair? What are you putting on your face? So really that can cause havoc on our hormones, but also on our gut health. And we need our good gut health to support our hormones. Another tip to around food is to check out the Mediterranean diet. It's a really great one that has lots of color, lots of fruits and veggies, and also some fish as well. So if you're kind of stuck with like, I don't like to follow diets, but it's a really great whole food option if you're looking to support your health. But lastly, stress, stress, stress. You guys are probably sick of me stressing about stressing the importance about managing our stress. We can't change it. Life is life. We get dealt different hands at different times. It's how we respond to it. So the best way that I find to do this is by reframing our stress. And I've got whole programs on this. So if you want further support, please reach out to me. Like health, I was chatting to friends about this today. I'm a health coach, NLP trained, and I'm, studying to be a naturopath. And while health coaching, you might think it's all about foods, but if there's stress, if there's emotional, mental things holding us back, we're not going to take action towards our goals. So mindset is everything. Stress management is everything. So start by reframing it. So when you notice yourself saying, I'm so busy, you might say, I'm so grateful for having all these amazing options in my life. When you're saying, I'm so overwhelmed, again, I love that I have choices to be able to do this. So when you start to view your anxiety, it'll give you a power boost, and it's going to, when you start to reframe it, and it will actually start to release feel-good hormones as well. And we need that when we've got hormone issues. We need those feel-good hormones to be released. So the stress, the food, looking at the chemicals in your environment is all going to balance out your hormones, your estrogen and your progesterone, which are the ones that are caught up in most of our hormone issues. Really, really interesting. And also a big link with PCOS, polycystic ovarian syndrome, is a huge link with our blood sugar insulin levels, which is also a hormone. So they all interact with each other. If you want more information on this, I've got my Healthy Hormones webinar, which I almost forgot to tell you guys, everything on my online store is 50% off, apart from my one-on-one coaching. I'll explain about that in a second. 50% off everything online on my store until Easter Monday. So Monday coming. So you've got another couple of days to get 50% off everything. Why am I doing this? Because I want you guys to get this information. So the Healthy Hormones webinar is on there. We'll give you more information around this topic. With one-on-one coaching, when you invest in that, you get all of my online resources, everything. I'm just going to throw it all at you for investing in you, because if you're sitting on the fence, if you've been watching along for quite some time and you're like, yes, Tara, this makes sense. I feel like you're in my mind and you're talking to me, but you haven't taken action yet. We want to ask ourselves, why am I still sitting on the fence? I say this with all the love in my heart, because life's a mirror, and I didn't trust myself to make decisions. I didn't back myself. I didn't trust myself and think that I could do these things. And so I've worked through that. So that's why, I draw in people who are, sitting on the fence, because I've been through that and I can help you through that and I can help you to achieve your goals. So, it's like, how long I sat on the fence for years, bruised bum and everything. Like, it got so uncomfortable. I got to the point where I got so uncomfortable that I was actually severely overweight. I was covered in eczema. My gut health was shot. I was anxious and depressed. It's like, come on, I had to hit rock bottom. I had to get so uncomfortable to make a change. And I don't want that for you guys. I want you to make it from a place of abundance and a place of knowing and a place of trust. So if you feel called, please book in a chat with me. I'd love to be able to support you with this. Like, writing this content for this week has just lights me up. Women's hormone health is so close to my heart, because I may not suffer from endometriosis, but I've suffered from huge thyroid concerns last year due to a miscarriage. And I've gone through a whole huge hormone roller coaster throughout my teenage, early 20s. So I feel you. I appreciate what you potentially might be going through. And I'll jump in to the chats now to see if there's any questions and answer them as we get off, because we've hit the 15 minutes. But please, 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 please share this with a babe that you know would benefit from hearing this information. And from today, what's one thing you're going to start to do to work towards better hormone health, whatever it might be for you? Comment, let me know. I'd love to hear, or write it down, schedule it in so you actually take action on it. But remember, stress management is one of the biggest impacts on our overall health, particularly our hormone health. So have a beautiful long weekend. I trust you're all well and safe, and I'll see you next Wednesday. Bye, everyone.